So a lot of people have been asking, how do I become a personal trainer? You know, is it really lucrative? How do I be successful? So I'm going to break it down for you. So see these, these certs and everything? You don't need that, all right? The best way to do it is use Photoshop. Definitely have a makeup filter if you're female. And then find like really small clothing, if any at all. And then make sure you have a buddy that can take those kind of down upward angle shots for you when you're demonstrating, with like a lot of momentum and very good form, so that people can really see your body, okay? And then make sure that you get affiliated with some kind of clothing brand and start pushing that. And make sure that your coupon code, when people try to swipe up, make sure that it doesn't work. And then also don't forget to represent your skinny tea or, whatever kind of like pyramid program you're on. Make sure that you get that. And then tag everyone you know and make sure that you hashtag them and then tag all their friends and spend at least 8 hours a day looking at all your friends' accounts and then friending their friends, because the only way that you're going to make that money and be the best trainer is if you friend all of them and you spam as many people as possible. So basically, for you to be a really successful personal trainer, think of yourself like a virus. You just want to infect as many people as possible, charge them $10, and then copy and paste your plan and send that to everybody. And hands down, that will make you an expert. All right. But for those of you that actually are serious about getting into the health and wellness field and doing your research and becoming educated and doing it the right way, you want to find a nationally accredited organization and make sure that they have a really good reputation in terms of career placement, continuing education. When you call them, someone is there. You're not just being charged $100 and taking a multiple choice test online. So I do recommend that you try to practice and hone your craft. A lot of people, get the cert and then that's it, right? And then you go in there and you start training your buddies or your friends or, people that have always asked you for advice. You really want to make sure that you focus on your coaching skills. You want to make sure that you focus on the psychology of it. You want to make sure that you're assessing each client, you're investigating for them in terms of their health history, but not only health history, but their readiness to change. That should be filled out on the PAR-Q. You should be able to identify where on the scale or the readiness of change that they are. Because if you have that, that will absolutely save you time and money, because people that are going to be in the pre-contemplation stage are not going to do anything with you at that moment in time. So depending on the time that you have to give to explain and educate, and build that rapport versus somebody that's in the action phase, you really need to take advantage of that. So being able to identify which phase each person that comes to you is in is really key to being successful. On top of that, making sure that you have your motivational fillers, that you have an understanding of how each client likes to be coached and educated and motivated. I have one client that really likes to, really gets into the derogatory, right? So it's like, tell me that I suck so I can try harder, and again, is that motivational? You know what? For him it is. I have another female that she really needs that encouragement, so it's great. Awesome. You came to the gym today. Fantastic. Are you ready for a great workout? Good job. You're doing great. So it's trying to make sure that you are adapting your coaching skills to each individual client. Because even though you're one person, all of these people are different, right? So the results are going to drastically improve depending on how you're able to identify each client's needs and then coach them. Furthermore, you also want to make sure that you're paying attention to, lifestyle factors. Is this person that's been coming in, your client all of a sudden has a big project due and, now they're not sleeping and they're not eating or they're skipping meals, things like that. I have a pretty prominent lawyer that, once he got onto a federal case, he's not sleeping at all, right? So he's not eating, he's not sleeping, he's just working, and that's what it takes. So it's going to be more beneficial to either focus on a stretch or to cancel that session completely. So again, just pay attention to what your people are doing, how your clients can be better taken care of inside, outside the gym, because basically you're going to be that catalyst for change. And if you do it correctly, you're going to be the best at it. You're going to get so many referrals from it, and people are going to come to you. So that's another thing to also keep in mind. The cert is just step one, okay? You want to make sure that you have liability waivers signed, because you just never know. Everybody's, I mean, not everybody, I don't want to make a generalization, but you know, it's a litigious world. So you want to make sure that when you're speaking, you're using the appropriate terms, you know, depending on which organization you go to, they will even talk to you about, listen, when you're coaching a client, there's, you know, there's that personal space, there's that intimate space. Fingers are very invasive, right? So when you're trying to point or use fingers to then, you know, touch on a client where that muscle needs to be activated, you know, you're going to use the back of your hand. It's little things like that, you know, so. And again, maybe you're a potential client watching this. These are things to keep in mind when you're selecting a trainer as well. You don't want somebody that's just going to poke and prod you like fruit at the grocery store, right? There needs to be that respectful boundary of space. Furthermore is going to be directional cues, right? So you need to get really good as a trainer in identifying that. And instead of just do it like this, or put this here, or that needs to be like this, or move your leg over here. You know, it's okay, but it's not what's going to separate you from everybody else. And if you want to be the best, you need to be able to say, you know, hey, you know, client X, you're doing great. In order to further activate those muscles, let's make sure that your right toe is going to be rotated out a little bit. And then I want your left shoulder to be, you know, leaning more towards the stack or away from it. You know, you get the idea. So rather than just put it like this, or using your hands to then push your client into that position, the idea is you're coaching them, you're instilling that self-accountability and independence in them. So if you can verbally cue them to the position they need to be, and then if they're still not getting it, use the back of the hand to then, you know, adjust posture, point with the back of your hand where that muscle needs to be activated, etc. So it's trying to do those little things to set you apart, because honestly, everyone has a cert, right? Or everyone's a trainer. Or if you have a nice body, you're a trainer. You know, everyone on Instagram is a trainer. So in the interest of really excelling at your craft, you know, you always want to make sure that you're up on the latest scientific research. If you're not into that, you can always just take a CEU course and they'll do it for you. I myself subscribe to strength and conditioning journals where every single scientific study is laid out, and they have the hypothesis, the abstract, the analysis, the findings. I find it incredibly helpful, but if you're not an analytical person and you don't like to read highly technical documents, there are also, depending on who you are certified through, there should be CEU options for you, or go to a local conference, start conversing with your colleagues or soon-to-be colleagues, or find someone you really admire and say, you know, I'd like to kind of, you know, buy you coffee and let's have a conversation, or are you interested in mentorship, something like that. When I started, I had a great mentor, and he had me do everything wrong, try different things. He had me wear a backpack underneath my shirt to see what it's like to have a girth so big, rather than, you know, trying to get that understanding so that when you coach someone who does have, you know, a larger girth, you know how to accommodate because you have an experience. So both textbook and now through practical application. So I hope that this is helpful. Feel free to send me any other questions or things like that. You want me to make another video or what have you. I've been in this industry 15 years and I'm starting to see the quality fade. So I felt like I should pop on here and just kind of give some recommendations. So if you like this video, please like, comment, subscribe. And if you know, have any other things to say about it, be sure to drop me a comment and let's have a discussion about it.